Hi there, Tarot Tube. Today is January 13th, 2018. Sorry to be broadcasting so late today. I've been making a lot of updates to the studio. We've got brand new lighting setup and a brand new camera setup, and everything I think looks a lot better. Hopefully I have fixed the issue with the flashing cards. And I'm going to go ahead and do another Dyadic Cross. I'm working with the Rider-Waite tarot deck, and I have no reverses. Ace of Swords, Page of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, King of Wands. We love the King of Wands. Seven of Cups. And Four of Wands. Okay, this is a very active spread here. Now, I think this is very unusual because I've been working with like a lot of different decks. I've been doing reads in a lot of different situations, and the King of Wands is coming up time and time again. I don't really know what to make of that, but there's definitely somebody in this position. This is the root of whatever's going on right now, and the King of Wands is somebody who is like a very competent, very capable leader. He is often compared to Alexander the Great after he becomes king, who is known for his, wise counsel and his ability to get to the bottom of a situation and lead people, really, really competently. And so, in this position, and the fact that we've been continually getting this time and time again, I think this tells us to look to a mentor. This mentor might be your father, it might be somebody who, you work with, but this person's going to be bringing a really lot of important counsel into your life, and you need to trust them. And so find somebody who, occupies this position and follow them, because they're going to bring you to some kind of really important divine knowledge. King of Wands is the only of the kings who is said to rule by divine right. He's said to be in charge of his own destiny, rather than the other kings who may have achieved it through finagling or whatever they did. But the salamanders that we see here, the lions, everything talks really about strength and competence and spiritual completion. Now, the heart here, we have Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is generally a card representing opportunity, but this opportunity may appear as a conflict. And so you may enter some kind of a conflict with somebody else, perhaps even the King of Wands, and this is going to be a pretty critical element in your life, but it's going to be a positive opportunity at the end of this. So, it's important to kind of look at things, with a full wide range of sort of perspectives. The Ace of Swords, as we know, is a double-edged sword. Cuts both ways. Now, the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is all about victories. Four of Wands is, coming home to people greeting you. It's a very nice card to have. It's a very positive image. And basically what we see when we get this card is that, you're celebrating something. Maybe you're having a party, maybe you have just sort of got a recent promotion or something, you're going out for drinks with some friends. And the key element is, this is sort of a private celebration. This one, you notice that right here, there are some other people in the image who aren't actually involved in the celebration. Only the two people greeting you are involved. And so this means that right now something is going on in your life that that is a cause for a celebration, but only within a small set of people. So it's not this great thing that you're going to receive a ton of praise outside of your social circle for. It's going to be your close friends and family. Now, the position that's here is that it's blocking this opportunity from the Ace of Swords in some way. So, the Ace of Swords, remember, is an opportunity that's going to be disguised as a conflict. And what's blocking that is some kind of a celebration. And so what I'm seeing here is that, you're going to be facing a couple different situations where their valence isn't entirely clear from the get-go. You need to be able to again, think through things from every different perspective and try to really understand, what you're dealing with. Now, in the past, we have Page of Swords here. And Page of Swords could possibly represent you and your past, your upbringing. Page of Swords I like to compare her to Arya Stark, if you're a Game of Thrones fan. She's like a really adventurous child. She can be like a little bit aggressive, but it ultimately leads her to go on like all these like cool adventures, discover all kinds of new great things, and it's a really, really powerful energy card. Now, pages can sometimes mean news, so I think this might be closely related to the Ace of Swords in that, like, there's going to be news of this conflict coming to you that is in fact a blessing. And so when you receive that, maybe in the past you've recently received it, and sort of like that's like what's going on, that's important to keep in mind, and just sort of like consider that as like a dominant energy here. Now, Aspirations, getting 7 of Cups in the Aspirations position makes a lot of sense. 7 of Cups is all about like fantasizing, it's about like imagining possibility, but it's actually not necessarily like achieving that. And so it's either that your fantasies are kind of like unrealistic and they're just not going to come true, or it could be that they will come true, but they won't bring you the type of satisfaction that you expect they will. And so when we get this in the position of Aspirations, it tells us that like our sort of like understanding of what we want in life is somehow deeply flawed. And it's an unfortunate card to get there. It feels very negative, but what you need to understand is that these moments where we discover that like the way we're thinking about things isn't totally correct, these are when we grow most. And so looking in our future with Knight of Pentacles, this is telling us again, be more thoughtful, be more contemplative. Think about your moves before you make them, and try to understand everything from all perspectives. Because the Knight of Pentacles, he is the most thoughtful of the knights. He's not just like rushing into battle at the drop of a feather. He thinks about everything. You may have a tendency to overthink things, but I think that's the energy you need in your life right now because of all this other sort of like mixed up energy we were feeling here. As always, please like and subscribe. Normally we do this every morning at 9 a.m. Should be able to resume that tomorrow now that I've got this all set up. Not really sure why there's a delay here, but we'll get that going. And be well, everyone.